Giran. Giran. Now, Giran is a creature that is not a human. He's of Icarus. He's of Icarus lineage factor. As far as his DNA goes, he's a flying, you know, dinosaur is what Giran was. You know, Giran, is a fighter, right? That Goku had to fight against, right? Giran was eating before the fight. He was like, he was eating down on some, chicken wings and shit, but he wasn't eating them right. He was eating like he wasn't getting all the meat off the bone. And then Goku's like, well, that's not how you eat. He's like, I'll eat, too. And then he's like eating him. And then he's like, hey, these are mine. I'll eat them how I want to and other things. And then Goku's like, he kind of wasting food a little bit. Then they ended up having to fight each other in the tournament. Goku fought against Giran. And Giran was, kind of tough, but not that tough. To the point Goku gonna win. He defeated Giran. The dinosaur. Man. The flying dinosaur man. But Giran then, went back to his people, and there's like a whole bunch of people like that on her. In the Dragon Ball world. This is OG Dragon Ball. I'm talking about OG, nigga. Come on, cracker. You gotta know about this shit. This is, Kirita's work. And Giran had his people, and they were, holding the water back, from like flowing throughout the rest of the, land and shit. And he's like, Goku and Nam go there, and then he's like, oh shit, these are the guys I fought in the tournament. These guys ain't that bad. Maybe I could put in a word for you guys. I understand my people like the water to be here, and we want to, safeguard this shit, right? But maybe I could put in a word because your people are suffering from it. So then, Giran told the elders and shit, and they were like, man, I don't want to, but I guess since you put in a good word for them, we can let the, water flow. Either way, Giran was a fighter who was in the Budokai Tenkaichi, 21st Budokai Tenkaichi, and one of Goku's first opponents like that. So 77 for his strength and a 75 for his speed. 77 for his durability, and a 75 for his endurance. 74 for his intelligence, and a 82 for his experience, 82 for his close skills, and a 77 for his range skills, 75 for his recoup, and a 74 for his hacks. Overall power score is a 76.8 for Giran. Be cool, Corner.